So many times I thought you'd leave me. Broken inside, I feel I've lost my sanity. I don't believe in happy endings. Bottle my pride and hope you'd still love me in the end. Didn't want to leave your arms, but I feel like you won. You left my soul to starve. I don't believe I'm the one. Ooh, I can't show that I'm hurting. You can't know that I'm worried. I gave up in a hurry just to know I'm safe. Love is a fire and I'm burning.
What's up, guys? Excuse me, I'm still sick. So I'm going to show you guys, today's going to be like a vlog with me, kind of come with me and do some stuff kind of day. I'm going to show you guys a few things that are happening right now. You may notice that the gate's open, and where are the horses, Keisha? Well, I'm going to get to that right now and show you. First, I'm going to explain to you why they are where they're at. So everyone that I know around me personally that owns horses is low on hay. We have 8 bales left. That's clearly not enough to keep horses for a long time. So everything, the grass is growing right now. It's mainly weeds, but there is 15 acres, so there's enough grass for them to graze on. So don't worry about that. So we're low on hay, so we're not feeding any hay right now. What's going on is the horses are going out from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., obviously with the exception of me bringing them in and working them for an hour or two, once in a while, every day. And so they're out on grass all day until late evening, and then they come in at 6 p.m. into the smaller pasture so that it preserves some of the grass that is there, and then they're turned out the next day. So Kimanie is going to be moving to this pasture very soon, where this gate is. There's actually wiring all the way around that I just have to double check is strong. She tends to not really lean against a rope, so I should be able to put a rope across that and be good. Kimanie has an injury, so I'll show you guys cleaning that up. I'm going to bring her in right now because I have to move her off this pasture. And I'll take you over here and just show you this pasture is our yard. And as you can see, I have a gate up there now. That's because she's separated from Boog. She's a little buddy sour, so I don't really trust her yet to be out here with just a rope by herself. The good thing about this is I can leave this gate open and she can go in shade and have her water. Right now, Miss Kimanie girl is in this pasture. And as you can see, it's all mown down. And it's mainly weeds now. There's still some grass for the picking, but not much. But Kimanie has a big injury on her nose right there. Yeah, she's got an owie. So, real quick, I'm going to show you where Boog is and the 2 other pastures that Kimanie is going to go in, and then we'll grab Kimanie, doctor her nose, and then after that, I'll put her in here, and then when it cools down a little bit, it's about 80 right now, when it cools down a little bit this afternoon, I will show you guys my, kind of what I'm doing with both of them right now. We're restarting Boog, and we're doing some things with Kimanie. So, see you in a second. Okay, so we're at Kimanie's pasture. So this is it, and as you can see, it goes down here. And it's mostly weeds, but there is a lot of tall grass mixed in those weeds. It took her about 3 days to eat that pasture down. It was about as high as this stuff was. So she's pretty quick, but she still savors it, and it's not like it's gone in a day. So this pasture comes down all the way to here and around right there. You guys have seen me work Boog in there. Here's where Boog is. Now Boog is locked on this side of the pasture. Now he's coming already because he knows to come in. Boog is locked on this side of the pasture. He's got this huge pasture. It goes all the way back there. It goes about 2 miles up that hill, about a mile back there. He's got a lot. Now, there's a lot of weeds, but there's also a lot of grass in this. Now, he's down here and locked on this side. Normally, he would have the field that you see is connected to their pasture. Hey, Boog. He's already got a grass gut. Normally, he would have the entire 15 acres besides the small pastures that I'm saving for Kimanie. And it's going to last him a long time too. But there's a giant water pond over there that was man-made. He wouldn't drink water, and he was just standing at the gate, rearing up on the gate, and Kimanie's buddy sour, and so she was making him buddy sour, calling for him every time he left, as you guys have seen in that other video I posted of Kimanie being upset. And he just was not drinking, and when I would let him in, when I would let him in, he would just chug for a good 10 or 15 minutes. So I walked him all around out here yesterday and showed him where the pond was, even though I've turned him loose in front of it and shown it to him before. And the gate where Kimanie's going to be at the next time is locked to where he can't go through to the other side of the property, because I want him on a side where he's got water. And before anybody freaks out about that, when I brought him in last night, he wasn't thirsty. He just laid down and they took a nap. So he definitely knows now where the water is. And he knows when I come out to get him. I normally have a sugar cube and I get him, but it's not time to come in yet. It's only 1:30 in the afternoon. So I'll see you when I'm showing you guys the next pasture. Pasture number 5 for Kimanie is this fence line right there. And that's a pretty big pasture. It goes behind that house and it goes over here where I showed you guys the other pasture. So yeah. Alright, well, let's grab this one and take her in this pasture and doctor her nose and turn her loose in here. For anybody wondering why, Keisha, didn't you just take Kimanie through this gate rather than a gate here, and a gate here, and a gate here? First of all, it's great exposure for a green horse. Second of all, this gate where the bucket's being thrown over has decided it does not know how to open. We've tried rearranging panels, we've tried WD-40, nothing's working. So I'm going to show you guys how I doctor her wound. The lighting's not working, but I will film it. Pretty much, it's 3 simple, easy steps. I'm going to yield her bed a little bit. There. So the first thing I do is I have a rag and I shake it off, even though it's in a bucket. And I just kind of wipe off any gunk and scratch it for her. Get off any gunk that might be on it. She always does that lip thing. The next thing I do is I get some peroxide, clean it out, and back her up a little bit. Thank you. And it's pretty swollen, if you guys can see this. This is all swelling. So let that sit there for a second. And then I take my rag and wipe it off, because I don't want to put the next medication on with all that foaming stuff. But I leave what's inside, the peroxide that's inside, in there, and I just wipe off the extra foaming. Next, I take this wound protector. It's for cuts, abrasions, superficial, everything like that. Stitches, you can clean it with stitches, if your horse has stitches. And I just try to get in there if I can. Let that one, come here. Let that one sit there for a second. Again, wipe off any excess that's not in the wound. I'm not sure what she did, but it's too late to do stitches. And then the next is this Novasan antiseptic ointment, and I put this in it, and I pack quite a lot in there because horses use their face to scratch their legs, to scratch their face. So if you just put a light layer, the first time they scratch, there's nothing going to be left. This is what it looks like. Get your fingers dirty. She normally stands on her own for this one. And I try to pack it in there a little bit. And then I rub some around the outside. Yeah. I put quite a bit on there. And it's that simple. That's done 3 times a day. Once in the morning before she goes out on her little pastures. Once in the afternoon when I bring her in to work her, or whenever I bring her in to work her. And I'll do it normally after I work her because there's going to get dirt in it anyways. And then once before I go to bed. And before anybody's like, will you still work her with the halter? As you can see, the halter's not rubbing on it. And I normally, when I work her, I will tighten it up just a little bit higher so that she can still be worked with. So, that is her little treatment for her nose right now. Alright, I'll see you guys when it's time to bring them in and work them. Okay, so Kimanie was wanting to drag through and be a little turd, not listen, so here we are on the lunch line. She actually had, before I started filming, reared up and opened her teeth in her mouth like she was going to bite. You can see here she's clearly ignoring me and wiggling the rope, so I get after her a little bit and make her hustle. But she got whacked pretty hard all across the chest and the nose for opening her mouth and rearing up because she can't be doing that stuff. So, you know, that's horses. So, we're just going to go back and keep changing directions. And you see here she's ignoring me. Get after her again. I'd like to be off the line by now, but that's okay. So here, introduce a jump. I like to give them a jump for something else to focus on so they're not just hauling around and dragging through. Kind of helps them focus on where their feet are. She got a nice little jump on her. Pull her off her balance there. She's ignoring me. Cut her off. Make her move. I'm wanting her to change, and I'm having to use more rope than I used to. She's just kind of dragging through and not listening. You can see here I'm clearly asking her to change. She gives me her butt, shakes her head, just rocks that pressure off of her face. So I just tighten up my rope as I'm walking to her right there, drag her off her balance, and here again she drags through me and just does what she wants. So again, I yank her off her balance. Her shaking her head is her pissed off and frustrated. Her tail up is her pissed off and frustrated. So you can see I'm just chasing the crap out of her for a good half lap just to get the point across that she needs to pay attention to what's being asked. So right there I had to pull really hard because I said whoa, and she just wouldn't stop. So I just pulled her off her balance. Let her stand there and think for a second and then bring her in. And then desensitize her. Because whenever you have to get after them for biting, kicking, rearing, any of that, you need to go back and desensitize. Otherwise, they're going to be terrified of the whip or yourself. Because they're not sure if every time you swing that, like right here, she's nervous around her butt, if they're going to get spanked or not. Right there, I didn't ask her to come forward, and she kind of walked up to me. She has a habit of kind of pushing into me when she doesn't want to do something, so I have to correct every little step. Here I'm asking her to back up. So here I'm asking her to yield from a distance, and then as I get closer, I start spanking her butt. I gave her a fair enough warning to move, so that's her fault if she doesn't. See, I'm tapping the air here, and there I'm tapping her. She's kind of numb to pressure, I'd say. Rubbing her butt, making her stop, think about it. What we do on one side, we do on the other, but I'm asking her to back here. I don't care if it's a slow back, as long as she's trying. I'm rubbing her face here. Go on this side, tap the air. Now here I believe, yeah, I had to put my arm up by her face because she's kind of just shoving her face into my body. So it's okay, we'll work through it. and rub her to a stop. And live on her till they're good. So here we're doing some quick changes of direction after all that desensitizing. You see, she ignores me a little bit, but she knows exactly what I'm asking. I kind of step out and then I pull her nose and she's like, oh, I just have to change. So I know she knows what I want. She's just deciding that, you know, maybe she doesn't have to do it. Bring her into me. She's a little hesitant. When horses get in trouble, sometimes they're hesitant. That's all time. So here, I asked her to move her face out of mine, and you see she just kind of raised her head. She didn't really move when I asked. So I'm here, I'm asking and asking, she ignores. So I start swinging and swinging until I actually have to spank her side and her shoulder, and she moves over, I leave her alone. So I got her tied up here, and this is the first time she's ever had her hooves picked out. She's had them picked up, but never picked out with a hoof pick. So the farrier's planning on coming in a week or so gotta get those feet done. This is really good. I'm pretty proud of her for her first time ever having her feet picked out. And see, she's not very happy about it. Now I always rub the inside of their leg, the outside, and then go all the way down so that they know I'm coming and it's not just a surprise. First time I have put her back leg on my knees. Sorry for the angle, guys. And I like to set their foot down. Now, I'm not at the point where I can like hug her butt and walk behind her, but I can walk behind her, so I'm happy about that. Now here I ask, and here I ask again, I ask again, I ask again, and again, and I have to take the hoof pick and actually keep tapping her leg. Me pulling up is her cue, and I also say lift, and she just really ignored me, so that's when I use the hoof pick to kind of tap and say, look, I'm asking, now pick it up. I give her plenty of asks. Here she kind of pulled it away, so I held it up a little bit longer. When she stopped struggling, I put it down. Tapping on both sides at once. Rubbing the inside of the leg, you can see here. Going down the outside. And I ask. And she does it, but she set it back down. I ask again, she's fighting. Ask again, she's fighting, so I take up the hoof pick and tap her. And here she set it down again, so I take the hoof pick and do it again. Now, I'm not left-handed, so I'm very bad at that side. So with Boog here, we're going back and starting him under saddle, so I'm doing lots of desensitizing. We're starting off with the surcingle and bidding him up, because he does know how to do that. I'm just flapping him all over until he stops flinching and pays attention to me. I'm just throwing it all over him. Here I got surcingle. Same thing with it, letting it flap over, hit over. Wherever it's going to fling, it's going to fling. You can see his tail's kind of active the whole time. We do have a lot of flies out. His head's high, his ears are back. But he'll get there. You can see he's really tense right here while I'm doing the girth up, even though it's loose. The girth is actually too big for him, so it slides a lot. So here I'm getting the bit on. This is a bridle I want to use on Kimanie that I won on my mare. So I'm kind of just getting the bend out of it. You can see he still raises his head for the bit, but not as high as he used to. Alright, so what I'm looking for now, it's been a little bit, is, hey, him to slow down a little bit. Keep a nice pace. Alright, he wants to canter. We're going to push him to canter. And keep up some of the pressure for a little bit since he doesn't want to slow down and listen. Now I know that the surcingle is too big on him. That's all I have. But he doesn't get to quit now until he drops his canter to a nice easy pace and takes over the jump when he's supposed to instead of over jumping. There, that was a better jump, May. I'm looking for a nice easy canter. There's a nice easy canter. Whoa. I just want him to relax. He kind of tensed up when I pulled that cinch back over. I need a smaller girth for him. And I want him to quit playing with the bit. I want him to relax and be nice and smooth, like that. And take a nice jump there. There. So now he's wanting to slow down a little bit and relax. See that head going down? Good boy. Watch the jump. Good. Now he's paying attention. He had to canter for a long time. Until he slowed down and kept the pace I was asking. There. Head going down. There. Good boy. There.